This summer we tried to fix a problem with our pasture and we actually ended up making it worse. So we're in the middle of a process of trying to fix it, and part of that is replanting it. So we're going to do that today. Let's head over to the pasture and talk about it a little bit more. We finally got some rain so we can go ahead and do this today. But earlier last summer, earlier this year, this area right here, we tilled under. And we tilled it because we thought that we could kill this invasive grass that was in it, but we actually made it worse. And we made it worse because the grass that's in there is a rhizome. And what that means is you can chop it up as much as you want. And if you chop it up, the roots up, then instead of having one blade or one stem of grass, you end up with, let's say you chop it up into 4 pieces, you end up with 4 pieces of an invasive grass. A shout out to our viewer who told us what kind of grass it was. We tried to figure it out by matching it to pictures on Google, but they pointed out right away that it's a grass called Kogon grass. I may not have pronounced that correctly, but it's very well known in northern Florida, southern Georgia, as a grass that will take over like pine plantations. And I guess the grass likes the same type of soil that pines grow well in. And that's a sandy soil that's got a high acidity rate. So this area here was a small area of this grass right on the edge of the pond, and we didn't know what it was. And every spring it would flower into this white flower, and unbeknownst to us, it was spreading from that side over to that side. And you can see where the brown is, it got all the way over to there. We quit trying to till it right about there, but there's still some places where there's more Kogon grass, and it's also kind of spread out throughout the property. So this whole summer I've been trying to get it under control. So we're trying to avoid spraying it with any kind of chemical. So our first attempt was to till it, and it tilled up nice and it killed it. It killed everything on the top. But I bet it was less than a week later that it started greening up, and it got really tall and thick in here, and we knew that tilling was not the way to get rid of it. You can't use a mechanical tilling method to get rid of this grass like you can with some ordinary weeds. So while it was still healthy and growing, we sprayed it very liberally. Deb drove the HISUN Sector 750 while I walked behind with the sprayer. And we sprayed it with glyphosate, which is the same as Roundup, and we used the recommended rate, and it knocked it back. So there's no greenery here. We let it sit and die for a couple weeks, and I came in here and mowed it. And we've been really in a bad drought the past month or so, so I couldn't do anything about it, so it's just been sitting here. But what we're gonna do today is plant it in a cover crop, and that cover crop will be a typical deer plot type of thing, or something even a farmer would put in their field. I'm going to use something called rye grain, not rye grass, and also a little bit of wheat. So we'll put that out here, and what that'll do is that'll just cover this up so it doesn't erode throughout the winter. It also will give the deer something to eat, so hopefully we could see the deer from the house on the property. And then when we come back in the spring, we'll terminate that and then plant it in Bahia grass, which it was originally planted in, and get it back to, you know, grass that we can hay again, like all of the green Bahia grass all around it. Since it's a fairly small area, I'm going to be spreading all the seed manually rather than using the spreader on back of the ATV. We don't have an adapter yet to put it on back of the HISUN, so we're still using our old 4-wheeler for that type of seed spreading. But I learned a lot more about this grass, and not only is it invasive, it chokes out anything that you want to grow. So it chokes out the grass that we had planted there. It doesn't allow it to grow, and it just sends out all of these roots, and they just get all matted on top of each other, and nothing can grow in between those roots. And they say that it'll even choke out, you know, some trees and stuff, not just, you know, grasses or a garden. They do a lot of controlled burns on pines here in Florida, and what they want to do is knock back some of that vegetation so that it's not a lot of debris in there for fires, for fire danger, and also so that you're not robbing the pine trees of nutrients with a whole bunch of brush. And the pine trees can withstand that burning because it doesn't get too hot. But they say if you get a bunch of Kogon grass growing in between the pines, that grass will burn so hot it'll actually kill the roots and the bark of the tree. So it's not just bad for a pasture or a garden, it's bad for trees in a tree farm. We're just gonna do a mixture of this rye and wheat, just put like half and half in this bucket, and then we will mix it up by hand. Not looking for a perfect rate, just some wheat, some rye will be good enough. That should be enough to fill the spreader. Let's bring some of that rye up here to the top. And this spreader here is one of my favorite tools, and I've had it for 10 years, maybe 15 years. They still make it. It's still available. You can still get parts for it. I've broken a few things off of it and replaced it. It's just a really well-made spreader, and I highly recommend it. I'll put an Amazon link down below. They still sell it, and it's just invaluable for your farm if you do any of, if you do any food plotting or any large-scale seed spreading. It'll spread big seed, small seed, it'll even spread fertilizer if you want it to. Now it's a chest mounted spreader, so you don't put it on your back like a backpack. Just put the strap over your shoulder, hook it into the bottom of the case, and then spread. And the reason I like this spreader for smaller areas is it's so precise. I can see exactly where the seed is dropping over there. I want to keep it right where it's all brown and burnt. And it holds a good amount, but not so much that it's heavy or digs into your shoulder. And in just a few minutes and a couple fillings of this, I can get this whole area spread. I can look down on the ground and see, do I have the right rate out? But that's as easy as it gets. Just go across here and spread this out and get a good rate here on the ground. But I got this all spread by hand, didn't take me long at all, and I got a very thick amount of seed out there. Now what I did down there at the end, where the 3 oak trees are closer to those pine trees, is I did what's called top seeding. And rye and wheat will grow on top of the ground if it gets the right amount of moisture. And in fact, a lot of these big farmers will aerial seed. They'll have like a crop duster plane that will just drop the seed from the sky. And now we're just gonna till it in. You can see there's no extra steps here, no pre-tilling. Throw the seed on the ground, then till it in. It's tilling up pretty good, but I was surprised at how much is bogging down the tractor. So this is the Summit TX25. It's got the 25 horsepower or 24.7 horsepower Mitsubishi engine. Very reliable, well-known engine. And we actually used this tiller in a video a few weeks ago where we tested a 5-foot tiller behind the tractor, but we did it in our garden back there, and that soil is a little looser. It's been tilled more, but this, you see what she did? She snuck on it. I think she actually wants to till. But getting back to what I was saying, this is bogging down the tractor because this soil is a little tighter, got more clay, it's a little drier. Got a little bit of moisture, so it's not as much dust, but I've got to go real slow or else it'll bog down the tractor. It's going from like 2,600 RPMs down to 2,000 when I try to speed up. Well, she wanted a shot at the title, so she's gonna do a couple passes. She's going real slow. I don't hear it bogging down at all. Not giving her any directions at all. She's just kind of doing it. That's cool. I like that she's become real comfortable with the tractor, both of them, the Kubota and the Summit. And when I need some help, I can just say, hey, can you do this over here while I go over here and do something different, and just be a force multiplier. Sometimes I don't want my tractor time taken away, just like she doesn't want her zero turn time taken away. She actually told me the last time we cut, which was the last cut of the season, we didn't record it. She wanted to do it all, and the something happened with the Yakta. I think it ran out of gas or something. Anyway, she went and grabbed the Kubota, because that was full of diesel, just because she didn't want me to go grab it and finish up her mowing.
Well, well, that was fun, but I didn't do that very straight, did I? But I have to tell you, we need to review the before footage, because although I am crooked, it was a little bit crooked when I started, and I just made it worse crooked. more crooked it was. But no, I knew I wasn't doing it straight, but.
I told him that you were taking away my tractor time, but you don't like it when I take away your mower time.
This is true. I didn't say it was fair, but it's true. I at least own it, but yeah, if I put Bell up, I wouldn't get off it, but I gotta go. But it was super fun, I like it. I like tilling and disking and tractoring and mowing. Wow.
That was cool. Deb got a little bit of time on the tractor, but it's just hard with Bella out here. We don't like her to be around anything that's rotating like a brush hog or a tiller, because she just doesn't have a lot of sense when it comes to tractors, and she might get caught up in it, and it's just not worth it. So can't have anything happening to the mascot of Piney Grove. When you get to the end, if you keep moving with the tractor when you pick up the tiller, you won't leave a little cup or a little ditch at the end from the rototiller tines. I actually kind of left a little ditch over here. Let me show you. It's smooth here, pretty decent transmission. There's a little cup right there. But right behind the back tires, right there, I didn't lift it up smoothly as I was going into the grassed area and actually left a little divot. It's not too bad, but when you're cutting hay, brush hogging, mowing, whatever, those little divots will really work on you, because most farm equipment doesn't have a very good suspension on it. The sun is setting, but we got it. It's all tilled in. I went around the edges, or at least the ends, with a double width. So I did about 10 feet around the edges to kind of clean up those little scalloped areas. So it's looking really, really good. Now, to do this like exactly by the book or the right way, you'd want to pack this, because this is real fluffy soil from the tiller. And you could do that by dragging, say, a piece of chain link or a post or something, or if you had a cultipacker. But I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm going to let the rain pack it. I think it's going to be fine, because I got to retill it next year to plant the grass. But I'm all done before dinner, and just absolutely love being out here on the tractor. It's a little bit cooler now as that sun's setting, and that's the reason that we bought Piney Grove, so that we can do this type of stuff. And right now I'm kind of wishing I had more acreage to do. So leave a comment down below. Where are you guys at? What kind of tractors do you use, and what kind of acreage do you have? And do you want more? Because I know I definitely would like to have some more to till right about now. But that's going to wrap it up. So until the next video, y'all take care out there. And remember, life's short, tractor hard.